from?
Either you leave now, or we're gonna have to call the authorities.
Can you bring some authority?
Are you gonna stay?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what did you tell?
Roll the tape.
Well, what she do?
Rolling the tape.
Well, if she stands in the building,
It's not your decision.
well, it's going to be my problem.
It's not your problem.
Oh.
Just roll it. You should.
Okay, roll it.
You should roll it.
All right, roll it.
Roll it.
Okay, let's start.
Just roll the tape.
So I don't see any camera to record on.
How are you doing?
Okay, now it's on.
Good.
Yeah. Hi. My name is Posr Posr. This is farther down the rabbit hole.
Just say this is my show.
And I guess this is my show. I'm here with Carl Person. Is that
Pearson.
Pearson?
Spelled person.
Pearson. We're going to jump around with a few topics. Actually, I believe the police are on their way, so I've been banned from the building, and I believe in violation of my First Amendment rights. I guess they're going to call us trespass, but we'll have the cameras on, and this tape will probably become evidence. But in the meantime, Mr. Pearson, let's start off talking about the 911 Commission ballot initiative.
Okay. I started that about a year and a half ago. I got the idea from someone in the state of Washington, and then the steering committee for the New York 9/11 group, Les Jameson, myself, and others decided it would be a good idea to have such a thing. So I wrote it, and I wrote it under the New York law, the New York City charter law that did not require that we put up financing for the commission. When I decided, however, that we needed to switch and use the New York State home rule law, that law had been amended to require financing, that the people that promote a petition have to explain in the petition how they're going to finance the activity. The reason for that is that the mayors of many cities and towns in New York objected to the fact that these petitions were being passed where voters were demanding that the town purchase 40 fire trucks, one for every block, something that people couldn't afford. So the way of bypassing that would be to require the petition to say where the money's coming from. You had to have a plan of financing. If you had none, you would then state that this is going to be a new tax on the people, and then your petition would not pass. So I put in the New York City Attorney General and named myself as the means of raising the money in order to finance the 9/11 Commission, because as a New York City Attorney General, I would go after the wrongdoers, collect money, and have, like Spitzer had, he raised $3 billion in 1 year by suing people. I said, hey, that ain't bad. Why don't we do that for New York City?
So in the petition, simply the plan of how to raise money had to be there.
Otherwise, the petition will fail. And that's the problem with the current petition that Les Jameson is doing and Pepper, that they have no plan for raising money. What they say is, don't worry, somehow we'll get the money. That's not a plan.
Well, if there's no plan in the petition that Jameson and company are doing, then the plan itself would fall short of satisfying the home rule.
And would be known to the people pushing the petition. That defect is known to them. So if that's true, that it's defective and it's known to the people pushing the petition, what can you conclude?
Well, what do you conclude?
Well, I conclude that they don't want it to take place. They know it can't take place. And therefore,
because there will be no funding, because there's no actual tax.
The petition would be thrown out because it doesn't have the financing that's required. They know it. We've told them a dozen times. They know it. and yet they're continuing with a petition that has no plan. See, if anyone could just say, don't worry, I'll raise the money somehow, there would never have to be a plan required. If it were as easy as saying, don't worry, somehow we'll raise the money, that is not a plan. Because if that's all that you had, why bother to have people put those magic words in? Just say that if you don't have a plan, let's just pretend that somehow you'll get the money. The statute doesn't say that. It says we want you to put down a plan so the public knows where the money's coming from, and to have a plan for the financing of this. And saying that we'll raise the money somehow is not a plan. That's my legal thinking.
Do you know what section of the charter?
Well, it's section 40 of the Home Rule Law.
Section 40 of the Home Rule.
Yeah.
Of the Home Rule Law.
Yeah.
And just for our viewers, I believe.
Or is it section 37? It's either 37 or 40, and one is the charter provision, the other is the Home Rule Law. Look up 40 and 37, and you'll come up with the two different sections. One under the charter, one under the New York State Home Rule Law. The New York State Constitution provides that we have the right to amend the Constitution, to amend the charter at a town, city level. That is in the Constitution of New York State.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important that we have more right there than any other state, I think. This is at a local level. It isn't a statewide referendum. It's a referendum at a very small level. So you can go into a town of 6,000 people, knock on every door, you can get people to back a petition, and you can actually have direct democracy there by having people vote directly on a statute.
Is it a percentage? How many people have to sign?
Half the voters. One more than half of the voters who vote.
Who vote?
Yes.
I mean, who voted in the last?
At the election where you present the petition. It's on the ballot. That a petition goes on the ballot, and for those people that vote, you need half. Plus one.
Now, the idea of a city attorney, a city attorney general.
Right.
I mean, how would that just be for the ballot initiative or other initiatives?
Much more, because we need to finance a 9/11 commission, and you don't finance it by subpoenaing people. You need money to have the apparatus to subpoena people, to hire investigators, to pay lawyers to go into court. You need money to have offices, to have records, and to have taped video sessions, court reporters. The cost, I mean, imagine what it would cost to have 1,000 witnesses if each witness cost $5,000. It's a lot of money.
Let's say we get through the 9/11 commission satisfactory.
Right.
We get answers as to why all the debris was shipped to China before anybody could go through it. Would that same city attorney general then be able to move on to other areas, or would it just?
Well, the city attorney general would do other things while the commission is doing its work. The city attorney general, New York City attorney general, would be there to enforce the rights of citizens, of residents, of homeowners, of small businesses, of unemployed people, of people that don't have Medicare. In other words, the office is to enforce the rights of people instead of their duties. Do you know what it's like to have duties enforced against you? That's called a criminal proceeding. That's where they enforce duties. That's where the full power of the government, with all the tricks and the money that they have, come down against a single individual with billions of dollars, and the Army and the Navy and everyone else against one person who has no money, and they get a conviction. How about enforcing the rights of people instead, and having the rights of people enforced at government expense?
So would the city attorney general be able to supersede a criminal proceeding of the district attorney in a particular case?
No, that's illegal under the Home Rule Law. The Home Rule Law of New York State says that you cannot change the office of the district attorney, nor can you change the office of the county clerk. Those are inviolable. The way the county clerk's office has been set up and the way the district attorney has been set up, you can't change that. And you obviously can't violate federal or state law. But where the New York City Council has the right to pass a statute, the people of New York could veto and take away a statute. For example, congestion pricing. The people in the city of New York could outlaw congestion pricing and take it off the table so it cannot be used to prevent people from coming into New York.
Well, why don't you explain exactly what congestion pricing is?
Congestion pricing is where New York City is like a private beach, that if you don't live here, you have to pay $25, $50 or so for the privilege of driving into New York City. And the idea is that we can keep out traffic and make New York City better for those that live here. Richer people live here. In other words, it's an attempt to keep people out who don't have as much money, that live elsewhere. So just charge a fee that makes it prohibitive to come into New York City, and you will no longer have a lot of traffic coming into New York City, and you cure your congestion problem. What about the problem of having all these buildings go up without adequate parking? Even though the statute requires they have parking, they waive these requirements. What about having parking meters that have too much space by hydrants? You could create more parking. You don't have to put up a parking lot in the middle of 9th Avenue south of 23rd Street. They built a parking lot in the middle of 9th Avenue south of 23rd Street. As you drive down the street, you have parking meters and cars parked in the middle of the road. Now that creates congestion. Why do they create congestion and then say suddenly they need fees in order to eliminate the congestion that New York City deliberately creates? So I would say let's take congestion pricing off the table, pass a statute by the people that prohibits the mayor and city council from fooling around and imposing a tax on people who don't live in New York so that they can come into New York.
Now, would the district attorney office be able to supersede the city attorney general in something?
Excuse me, gentlemen. They have said that if you leave now and cooperate, that we can talk to Jeff, who's taken over the responsibility for Sorrel, who's no longer here. And Jeff is not here today. He's the one that has to make that decision. So if we stop this now, and if you go out, what I'm going to do, we're going to post this on the internet, everyone will know, and we will appeal to whoever it is that we have to appeal to. So I'm just saying they seem like they really, really want us to cooperate.
Seems like a thing to do. It sounds a way of getting permission and not having to. It sounds good. I mean, I'm not involved in decision making here, but
an
yeah.
attorney speaking, like 3 years seems like so much. It seems like such an excessive ban.
Well, but hear the new voice. Hear the new voice, because someone else now has the right to make a decision, and it doesn't have to be the same way. But he may be forced. He may be forced into deciding it if you don't have cooperation. If you don't give him.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll. Well, yeah. Okay.
So we'll stay tuned, okay?
Well, we'll definitely stay tuned. I just.
Put the one shot on. So we'll cut the tape.
Well, no, but roll this. I want to say this.
Okay, let him finish saying what
But there's no camera. There's nothing going.
Camera on him.
Yeah, camera one.
Camera one.
Camera one. Camera one.
Camera one.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually leave now because my ban is going to be considered by a new person. So rather than challenge this at this point, I'll. Okay, we call it. I'll cooperate, but if this ban is not lifted, then we'll just deal with the trespass charges that Cyril Phipps. I don't see the light.
She's not here anymore,
I know.
so we'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, that Cyril Phipps put on me because she thought that black men are frightening to white ladies. That's
Really?
a quote.
No kidding.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm banned.
Okay, well, we're okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it could be considered frightening, but, you know, I'm just so inspired by what you're doing, and we'll get this show done.
Oh, we already
We'll
did.
get this done. Yeah. No, you stay here because
Okay,
I have to
okay.
do another show.
Good. So
Why don't you just jump in, Paula?
I had all sorts of stuff that I was going to tell you about your cases, and that I know I have had my own dealings with that judge, Franklin Weisberg, and I have all sorts of understanding, and I understand the value of a camera in the courtroom. It's I've got all sorts of comments and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, we're definitely in action here. Okay, thanks a lot. And I'll see you soon, okay, Posr?
Okay.
They said you can appeal as soon as you want in order to get back.
Okay, so we got a new tape in. This is a new show. We're going to be talking about the financial crisis. So tell me from the control room, maybe this plant should be. Do we have another plant, Alan?
Another what?
Is there another plant?
Another what?
Another plant, maybe?
I can't find another plan.
You want a fresh tape or to keep it running?
No, keep it running.
Keep it running, and we'll get another tape
Go
in
ahead.
as soon as.
Well,
Should I
there
put the ladder back?
No, it's okay. Just talk. Just talk.
I just think it looks
You
very
want the
empty
plants
here.
in the middle?
Something, yeah.
I put the plant little. Your tape is
We
rolling.
used to have 2 plants.
Your tape is rolling now.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Whoops.
The rainforests
Go
are going
ahead.
down. Okay, there we go.
Alan, your tape is rolling.
Okay, so let's put another tape on.
Oh, do you want to just talk about what happened, or no? You want to just go into
No, let's go into
No,
it.
let's
yeah,
do the.
yeah.
We've got a lot of material. We've got a lot of guests coming today, so it's a big day.
You want to just keep it on this tape, or you want to put it fresh?
Can I get 28 minutes on?
No, 16. You're up to 16.
No, change the tape. This is a very important topic.